No. I got this music from that movie, The Martian. I don't know, just like Man of Steel. I like listening to soundtracks while at work and stuff like that. Man of
Yeah.
Steel's solid. This one is by Harry Gregson Williams. It's the soundtrack again. It's probably one of those that the instrumental version I can listen to for a long time.
Yeah.
Just sounds like something's supposed to happen right now. I was looking at songs that have the word Mars in them, but got a lot of Bruno Mars that popped up, so that wasn't really helping anybody.
No 30 Seconds to Mars.
No, who's the 30 Seconds to Mars? That's the guy that's doing the new Batman, right?
Jared Leto is a Joker.
Yeah. Looking for a good song here. Oh, Mass Effect. Here we go. I'm gonna use this for the intro. All right, welcome to another Geek. Oh, this isn't another GeekRant. This is the first one. This is welcome to an epic, science crammed, nerded out, geek infused, comic book infested episode of GeekRant on the Empty Rant podcast. This is the first one. We're taking it back to the original doctrine of the Empty Rant podcast. Back then, we didn't have a category for all our variations, as the pod was just a mere baby calf evolving into this multi-theme conglomerate cow that you see before you, and you're able to enjoy it before your eyes. And you know, as a scientist, I wasn't getting my science fix, and I talked to Jesse about it, and Jesse agreed that he wasn't getting his science fix either. So we jumped on, or we created GeekRant. So there you go. You know. As always, all our podcasts are recorded live on YouTube and published to SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. A week later, available on your favorite podcatcher. So we're recording this podcast now, but it'll be available in the future. So in the future, I'll be hearing myself of the past, which means I could give myself advice from the past in the future. So like technically, I could leave myself a message like right now, like, "Hey, Mig, you're running low on toilet paper." You know, since I bought some today, I guess that was it. Or, "Hey, Mig, there's another 20 pounds of baby shit awaiting you. You know, I got to pay homage to the shit monster, or he will make me pay dearly." Anyways, that was another rant. I veer off. Jesse, when I veer off, I think. Yeah, man. Okay, so today we're talking comics. Or we're talking Mars, Comic-Con, and Star Wars, I think. But Tony didn't show up, so oh well. Here to geek out with me is my co-host, right-hand wingman, and host of Last Page with Jesse. We have Uncle Jesse, or Jesse the Jet Rodriguez, as I call him.
Oh yeah, how did that just start?
That's just your name, I think.
Okay.
I don't know if you like that name. That name hasn't really picked up. I got it from this movie called The Sandlot. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that show, but
who hasn't?
Well, it's not a show. You know, it's a very popular baseball game. It takes place that this guy Smalls moves into this new neighborhood, and he joins his this baseball team, and it's just like the trials and tribulations of this young all male cast, young kids trying to overcome, I don't know, fear, I guess, in the end. But they also learn a little bit about friendships, I guess. Yeah. Anyways,
if you haven't watched The Sandlot, you don't deserve to be listening to this podcast.
Anyways, Jesse, how's it going? Welcome. Look at that. Got you some kids.
I love kids.
That's why my I was gonna say I love kids as well, and that's why my name on Snapchat is Little Kid Lover. That's with 3 R's. It's LILLUVRRR. So.
And the police have never stopped by your house.
Hey, you should. Well, it's because I love kids. You know, after having my own. Well, actually, I made that screen name way before I had kids, so that doesn't really count. But it still makes sense, I think, for the most part. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Jesse, I mean, how do you feel about GeekRant, man? What are we we're here to talk about science and get back to,
Roots.
our roots. So I want to talk a little bit about that because I was listening to episode 2 of the Empty Rant podcast. If you go back, it starts at episode 2 because technically episode 1 was called The Rant Hill, and that was just with Tony and I. And it's audio quality is such a mess. And so then episode 2, that's when we got you and you joined in, and it's really like co-founded this what we're calling it was just Empty Rant, and then it evolved into the variation. So the original Empty Rants became Group Rant, and then that evolved into something else. But you're right, like talking to you and seeing that we need to get our science fix back, we came back to this. So that's that. Here we are. I have, it's gonna hit up my first topic here. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even allow you to say anything in the opening, Jesse.
You introduced me. That's enough.
Are you doing okay? How are the kids?
Kids are good. Kids are, or one's in bed. The other one's should be asleep, and she's not. So.
What if she's watching this podcast right now and she's just like, "Oh man, this podcast."
Is it live? She's on YouTube, so very well maybe.
She could be watching us live. She's
yeah,
like,
my 2-year-old found YouTube, so I've had to implement the parental safety locks. But yeah, she just.
I always see those controls on YouTube, but it's just like never thought about how to use them or anything. So I'm sure that's going to come up sooner or later.
Yeah, somebody introduced my 6-year-old to. It's so weird, but I guess there's a whole community of adults that buy like children's toys, and they like act them out, like basically like you did as a child, but now they record it and they throw them on YouTube. So there's like whole different dioramas and like storylines and crazy stuff. And there's even like just channels, for the purpose of just opening up toys. Like there's people that watch YouTube channels to watch other people open up toys. So somebody introduced my 6-year-old to that, and then my 6-year-old introduced my 2-year-old to that. So I had to create like a YouTube account for them because I was tired of getting suggestions for stuff that I don't want to see in my YouTube account.
That's funny. As opposed to it being like things that they could stumble upon, it's more you don't want to stumble upon.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what my 2-year-old is doing in the middle of the night right now on YouTube.
I had a friend that he has a YouTube account, and he does what they're called unboxings. So for like different phones and stuff like that, and he just has the video camera pointed down, and he just unboxes it slowly, and people like he gets like a ton of hits just for unboxing the latest phone or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen stuff like that, and I mean, I'm big into the comic book, so there's kind of like a very small comic book community too. But those are actually fun to watch because the unboxing of comic books are like whenever you send off a comic book to get graded. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a gem mint book, people will get their books back in the mail, and then they'll videotape them like opening up to see what kind of grades they are. So that to me is kind of like cool because you're getting surprised. But if you already know what you bought, it seems kind of pointless.
Yeah, but it's like almost like the same emotional toll. Like for you, it's comic books. For somebody else, it's like their phone and something else. There was a page or an account I stumbled upon, which was and it had to do with comic. Well, he had a book, then he had a binder, and then he had a comic book, and all it was just the sound of him flipping through the pages and stuff like that. Just like, and like he would do that, he would open it up. And the whole account is just him making these sounds with the different textures of the paper and stuff like that. And you got like 1 billion hits just because people like the sounds and stuff like that. I don't know if they're using it for sound effects or not, but I mean, that would make sense where you're going to pull those sounds. But I don't know. Unboxings, the whole thing of unboxing something so that you can kind of see it. I mean, it baffles me as well. It's just like something I don't have any interest in looking at it. I can go online and look at the specs and stuff like that. I don't want to see someone else unbox it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you didn't say there was an account of people watching other people unbox stuff, is there?
Oh, I don't know. But I mean, with all the reactions videos, I wouldn't imagine there's not one. I mean, people film
Funny.
themselves watching trailers, and I don't
Yeah,
know why.
this is it's like even further separated from like it's like third person. It's almost like this like fourth person that's viewing in on yourself. It's like I want to watch myself as I watch this other person watching themselves unbox
So
something.
stupid.
Yeah,
So
no,
stupid.
it's just not for you, okay, man. Let's get some. You ready to jump into Mars talk, or did you have some other stuff you wanted to run by me?
No, let's get into Mars. Let's get
Mars,
into some Agua on Mars.
I'll go on Mars. I got some music here. I'm not sure which one to hit. Heroes or Highlight? Which one do you think?
Hero sounds cool.
Hero. And now, topics. All right. So, the way we're doing this show, we got some topics laid out. Hopefully, we can also stem off on some of the spontaneous conversations that we also have on here. But last Monday, NASA announced that they found definitive evidence on Mars, or not on Mars. They found liquid water on Mars. The Curiosity rover is currently about 30 miles away from that location where NASA suspects that water may flow. And that brings us to this. Well, there's several things with that. First of all, water signifies life. So that's a thing on its own, is that the fact that we have water there was most likely at one point life. And then there's the other thing that the actual sample of water can't be collected by us because of the treaty that we signed. And I actually printed this thing out. Wanted to look at it. And it's the Outer Space Treaty of 1967, and it has all these different
How many
principles.
pages is it?
Well, I actually just printed up a piece of it, but this is page, it looks like 6,431.
Jeez.
And I only printed out the annex. And so like Article 1, the exploration and use of outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, shall be carried out for the benefit of its interests of all countries, irrespective of their degree of economic or scientific development, and shall be in the province of all mankind. So that's Article 1. That kind of gives I like that that's in there because you don't have these more powerful nations that can basically go do whatever they want in space. So everything's equalized in space, which is an interesting concept in its own. I was listening to this other podcast on it's called THC, the higher side chats, and a guy on there named John Brandenburg. He has a PhD in plasma physics. So he was saying that in his study, he found that the mapping or whatever imaging he did showed high amounts of xenon on Mars. And that's a weapon. Let me see right here. I got my notes on here. That's a weapon signature for something that had been, there, I guess an A-bomb had been exploded there at one point in time. So he was suggesting that another civilization that is way more advanced than us, at one point, Mars was exactly like Earth, like we are right now. And then someone just went there and A-bombed them. and then they saw what happened, and they're like, oh, let's start Earth now. So then Earth is started, and here we are basically exploring out and checking out evidence. And I think he's almost suggesting that we're looking at our past ancestors with by going over there and well, technically not collecting water because we can't collect water due to contamination reasons. But that's an interesting concept on its own. So I brought up two things, and I'm trying to stay on one path here. One is that we can't, because of the Outer Space Treaty, we can't collect that water sample. The reason for that being is contamination. You have this robot that traveled billions of miles, and in that time it could have picked up space microbes, which is really cool on its own. It's like there's some microbes in space that still exist, and the rover itself isn't able to sterilize itself. It would take too much radiation or too much heat to sterilize the structure of the robot, and in return, that would actually short out a lot of the electronics on board. So sterilization isn't a thing. I did see another note here. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. So in 2020, NASA's planning on sending another thing similar to the Curiosity rover, but it's going to be able to DNA sequence in real time, which is amazing. And then 3D print. I had this thing at one point. Have you ever seen a 3D printer like in action up close?
Yeah. I've seen toys and like collectibles and stuff be made with a 3D printer.
At like a Comic-Con?
Not at Comic-Con, but I mean, I've seen items sold at Comic-Con that were like 3D printed.
Oh, I didn't know if you had seen it like actually being printed.
I've seen it online.
Oh, yeah, you can see anything online. Your daughter's probably watching it being unboxed.
Unboxing a 3D printer.
Box that's going to be boxed in.
Well, I like your friend's theory because that would explain like the high levels of radiation on Mars pretty much as well. So
right. So opposed from that, so that's why the rover can't pick up on itself. But side note before we get into this A-bombed civilization or extinct this other civilization that went extinct due to the A-bomb. In 2018, the European Space Agency is going to be sending their own Curiosity rover up there, and it's going to have an organic molecule analyzer, and it's part of what they're calling the ExoMars mission. So there's all these like different. You know what always gets me with, and before we go into that part of what you're talking about with the civilizations, I wanted to get some thoughts on what you think, like on space exploration in its own. Like for me, we don't know everything about Earth, and I'm sure there's just like a plethora of mysteries still left in the ocean that we haven't discovered or even looked at, and we haven't even been to the bottom of the ocean. And to be going outside of the Earth and be looking for potentially another planet to live on, stuff like that, just seems like I don't know. There's two parts of me. One, it's like we're wasting resources on space exploration, but then the other part of me is like we should explore everything we can while we can. So I'm kind of pulled apart and under because I feel like just like the mysteries of in outer space. I don't want to say the universe because we're still like I feel like we're technically part of the universe. So not mysteries of the universe, but the mysteries that lay outside Earth itself, the realm of Earth. I mean, there's still a lot of mysteries here on Earth that we can't explain.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for space exploration due to the fact that I think that we are exhausting a lot of our natural resources that will make this planet habitable. Maybe it won't occur within my lifetime, but I would say within the next few centuries, we will experience something that will cause us to look to the stars to inhabit another planet. So I mean, I'm all for exploring alternative planets to live on, for my children, my children's children.
Yep.
And I don't want to wait to the last minute. The scenes from Interstellar paint a pretty vivid picture about how the scientist he essentially knew like there was no, I mean, that it was like a suicide mission pretty much, and they already had solved, the sequence and the problems, to make it happen. But yeah, I don't know. To me, I'm all for it. I support it.
Like I said, I guess I'm just in support of both. I like the thought of maybe there's I don't know how I'm saying, like there's other resources out there that we may not be aware of. Everything here on Earth has always been on Earth. Everything that we have has always been here. Now going to Mars, I like the idea that we might discover something that could provide, I don't know, another fossil fuel. Sustainable energy. That something that less wasteful on its own. We get into all these different resources that we try to use and stuff like that, but the amount of waste that it produces, I mean, just like with coal and petroleum and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
certainly if
don't
we could find a new element or some type of energy source that we could harvest and bring back, that would allow us to stay on this planet, but just to live, a little bit more resourceful and longer. But I don't know. It just, and then eventually we would run out of, you know, those resources, and then we'd be off looking for another planet. But that's just
know.
human nature, is just to use and consume.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking about today is um my roommate Jeremiah used to get mad if I or even Tony too. Tony would be the same way if they saw me just throw like my receipt paper like in the parking lot. I just
Yeah.
have this tendency of doing that. That's just something I'm like, I don't want this. And sometimes I make it in the trash can on the way out. Sometimes I don't. It's just like, and they got on to me about like this piece of paper that is. He's like, if Tony, I think told me like this. He's like, if one person does it, think about like if a million people did it just now, and then another million people, and like how this would look, all filled up with trash. And there's a interesting perspective there that out of sight, out of mind means that as long as this piece of paper isn't on the ground in front of me, that it disappears. But we
Yeah.
have like huge landfills just filled up with crap, and they're being compacted so tightly that they go in and they do these core samples and they pull them out, and they find newspapers that are still there from the 50s because there's no oxidation happening, or and the microbes aren't allowed to properly digest like these landfills were designed to. So get huge amounts of just wasted land that are being filled up with just plastic crap, plastic bottles that we use one time. I mean, plastic is so bad for the earth. I don't want this to become a podcast where we're just like all pro environmental or anything like that, but it's a real thing. And it always goes back to the reason that I think exploration interests certain people is because there is a limit to the resources here available on Earth, and at one point it is going to run out. I mean, we're kind of seeing that with water right now, water and oil, I guess you could say. But water
Hmm.
has always been a limited resource, and at one point, when you went into a grocery store and you asked, I don't know, the cashier, "Hey, where's the water at?" They would always point you to the um, the water fountain. They would just say, "Hey, it's over there. It's over there." Now we have. I mean, as a kid, we never saw aisles filled up with bottled water, and now that's just like a staple. That's just like a standard in all grocery stores where we go and get our bottled water, stuff like that. So you can already see like these limited resources that are being allocated and then essentially bottled up and used. So one, you're using up one of these vital resources, but two, you're also scourging the earth with this plastic that's only being used once or twice.
Hmm.
And well, I guess I once or twice. Laura loves bottled water. I try to tell her just to use a filter, and she refuses.
It's
I don't know. Are
terrible.
y'all a
Terrible for you.
bottled water family?
Not at all. Because I don't know if you remember when we started the other blogs or whatever. I did a big spill on
Right. What was that blog
te-
called?
I don't remember.
The Gnomes Within Us, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, something like that.
I
But
totally forgot you were part of that.
yeah, I'm really opposed to bottled water. Occasionally one will end up in my house, and I make sure it gets used for at least a month straight before it's put into the recycling bin. So I'm
Nah.
I'm I'm really opposed to bottled water and a lot of plastics. Yeah, but we do recycle as much as we
Water
can.
in itself, and I don't mean to continue on this tangent with plastic, but like even the clothes we wear just are full of these plastic fibers that are constantly getting washed out.
Yeah.
Um, oh God, Tony's texting me right now. I should tell him jump on if you want. Jump on. Stop texting. Um,
Yeah, polyethylene is in a lot of stuff,
everywhere,
and then
and it's
pretty much,
unregulated, and it's just
yeah,
continuing everything.
yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh, just as long as you don't leave it out in the sun. But the polyethylene and the chemicals, composites used to make that bottled water have already been heated up to a certain degree during transport to wherever it is you purchased it, especially if you bought it in a store. So I mean, obviously, it takes quite a lot of exposure to the chemical to, reap the effects, I guess. But I mean, like you said, it's literally in everything. It's almost unavoidable. It's in every single food packaging that you buy. I mean, even down to the canned goods, because the lining of the can is polyethylene as well, or some type of chemicals. So and then not to mention the source of the water and water bottles is another story in itself.
Continuing on the plastic rant here. You had the chelation of plastic, and people that tend to buy, I guess, several of these, I don't know, crates or packages, bundles of water, and they stack them up in their garage. And you have your car that you're also parking in there, in these situations, and you have gasoline that's chelating through the plastic and essentially getting into not only your water, but it ends up getting into your system. So not only are you getting, the bisphenol A, if you're not drinking from a bisphenol A, and we've talked about bisphenol A too.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But anyways, we're talking about Mars. Let's try to stick with Mars. Plastic is bad everywhere. It's going to be, I think they're finding like animals that 50% of, like fish, they're finding fish that 50% of their DNA is plastic. It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Plastic stuff like that. It's bad stuff for you, but if that's what you want to do, I mean, that's what you got to do. Talked about the outer space treaty. Talked about that. Oh, going back to what we were talking about, civilization of look who's here.
At last, your savior has returned.
Tony walked in. Calm down.
Hey, no touching.
I know.
Fat.
Anyways,
I need a stick with all these.
Hey, how's it going, Tony? We've already done our intro, and we're well into our talk about Mars. Well,
Mars.
Started off with talking. Okay, don't do that. Fuck you, Tony. No.
What?
Okay, so we were talking earlier this week, and Tony was basically stating, how did you put it? I was watching NASA TV during the announcement, and it wasn't as underwhelming as I thought it would be. I think that's how you stated it.
That is complete false statement.
Underwhelming?
Yeah, it wasn't as underwhelming as I thought it would be. Basically, that's super boring, I guess. I don't know what he expects.
That doesn't make sense if I did say that.
That's you can go back. Well,
that would mean what? It's whelming. Is that what it is? I found it whelming.
Whelming's not a word. It's either overwhelming or underwhelming. You're either like excited or you're bored about it. I mean, it's just how that goes.
I was very excited. I think it was pretty cool. I mean, it's just all this. This has been the goal for how many years have we've been looking into Mars to find this evidence of water.
This has been the goal since day one of space exploration. Like,
yeah. But what I was trying to say is that, like, I was looking at Twitter, people were like, "Oh, they found aliens! Oh my God! Oh my God!" And I was like, "It's not going to be that. It's going to be. I mean, they're not going to find an underwater lake. I didn't expect these sort of things, and so I guess in a way I found it. It was maybe to those people it would have been underwhelming. I was just but since I was expecting it, not to be an underwater Martian wonderland of aliens,
You listen to yourself when you talk? I'm not sure.
It's in my head.
When you think of aliens, you're thinking of like little green men or something. But I mean, the life forms we could find or could be like microscopic or something.
Yeah, and I mean that was something I was like I really don't think it's gonna happen. But how awesome would be if they would find a little microbe, just to say that we've discovered a Martian would be amazing.
It is a Martian.
Yeah.
Hey, is your wife mad that you're on the podcast?
No, she's she is doing the dishes, but no, she's happy. She's always happy. I keep my wife happy.
Yeah, you do.
She says, "Yeah, I do." There you go.
Okay.
That's disgusting.
Did you show up the party today?
No, oh yeah. For her birthday month, I got her Mr. and Mrs. Manatee. And they're little manatees that you could put tea in it, and then it brews your tea. And they just hang out on the glass. Anyway, she told me to tell you all about that. It's
Boo sound effect. I can't find one on here.
the brand is Molybdenum Tea Infusion.
Nice.
Mr. and Mrs. Manatee.
At
Look it
one
up.
point, I guess they just. Oh, manatee, like an actual tea set.
No, it's hold on. Let me-
Oh, congratulations! You made her tea.
Yeah.
It's a tea bag. It's Tony's tea bag.
You tea bagged your wife. Congratulations.
No, it's well, yeah, they're tea bags. I guess.
You give her a
Yeah,
nice.
that's what I
There you
said.
go. Can you see my? Look, they're so cute.
Oh, so it's not actual. Wait, I'm confused. What the hell that is?
It's a little manatee hanging outside of your cup, and it brews in the hot water because the tail has the tea in it.
Get it?
It's silicone. It's let me see. It is made of
You gave your wife cancer. Congratulations.
food grade silicone rubber that can withstand temperatures.
Wedding ring right there. We haven't seen that. What is going on there?
Oh, let me turn off
That
the
wedding
fan.
ring. Let's see that.
Have you seen my hair? Isn't it crazy?
Tony, I've seen a couple pictures.
Yeah.
Freaking haircut, man.
Is it
Yeah.
weird saying wife?
No, I love it.
It was weird for me for a while.
Yeah. It's weird to think that she was my girlfriend.
It's weirder for me to think that I have a son right now.
Hey, you got me there. That's pretty weird.
Right?
That's
It's
the
just like,
weirdest.
that's Miguel's son. Like, what? They just,
Well, you don't really know if it's yours, but I mean, you treat it like it's yours.
Let's see. I don't know what I got here. Is it? Oh, that's a baby sound effect. That's not what I'm going for.
Did you make that one?
Yeah, I made it. Let's see. We were talking about No, we're not talking about Star Wars. We're talking
What?
about
What?
Armand. No, we're saving that for the end of the show, man. We're already 30 minutes into this, but anyways, we'll start right here. You know, we can edit this part later or whatever and make it sound like
Yeah, go back to what you all were talking about before.
Not all the way to the beginning. We went on a little plastic tangent there, but the next part we were talking about
I
was
love plastic.
I listened to. Yeah, I know. That's why you gave your wife some plastic. Anyways,
It's
staying away from plastic. We'll have the plastic episode next time.
Dude, 450 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm telling you.
I know, but that's only based off like what is known right now as far as unregulated substances. So a lot of times they go off of like BPA's, this whole thing that people are afraid of when there's other hormone mimicking compounds in plastic that you should also be aware of and stuff like that. Plastic
Don't
all
you
around.
put silicone in breasts? Like, is it?
It's a derivative of like a plastic derivative of it.
Yeah, and you're saying it's not safe.
You're still getting the chelation of silicone. I mean, that stuff's not like staying with the manatee. It's like goes into the manatee. You get manatee tea. Manatee tea.
Wow.
Huh. Anyways, okay.
Well, I will report back any findings.
Doesn't
You
matter.
have gynecomastia,
Whoa, what's that?
mill boobs.
Okay.
I do.
Going back to Mars Talk, I was listening to this other podcast called the Higher Side Chats, THC. The guy's really awesome. He smokes. I hate saying really awesome. The guy's legit on his podcast. But he had a guest there named John Brandenburg, who has a PhD in physics, and you can also see some of his stuff on lifeonmars.pub. He's published several books and stuff like that. But he was stating that high xenon levels indicate that at one point Mars was nuked. And it has a weapon signature on there that other research has indicated that A-bombs are linked to the rise of xenon on that planet. So there's other stuff on there, uranium, thorium, fusion going on, that also indicates a large amount of nuclear events going on. Anyways, we just got a comment from Monica Dunn. She says that Tony sounds like Norm Macdonald.
I wish.
You do
Hey,
sound.
hey, yeah. Wait, what's the Norm Macdonald joke? Damn it. Wish I
I
had
don't know.
one loaded.
Anyways,
No,
okay.
I wish I had a joke loaded. That's very.
That's a Norm Macdonald joke that You don't have a joke loaded, so I mean that's a joke in itself. Um, so on Earth, xenon naturally occurs due to uranium pockets, and but the xenon is what leads to, I guess what you want to say, like a fast nuclear event. So the fast moving nucleus, neutrons that are the result of an explosion. So what happens is during an explosion or a mass neutron event, you have the fission bomb or the H bomb that's put with a blasting cap, and when the blasting cap sets off, it hits the H bomb, and the H bomb ignites the neutrons. The neutrons are moving really fast, and they start splitting up uranium, and that essentially leads to all this unstableness, and boom, you get the big explosion there. So, but what we were talking about here, what if at one point there was a civilization on Mars that was nuked, and now there's like these higher beings, like on Prometheus. Have we seen Prometheus? I don't know if you have.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Both
I
of you?
think we had an episode about this too.
Okay, doesn't matter.
I
But
saw
the
it twice
engineers-
in theaters.
So if we had the engineers that at one point decided, I hate everybody on Mars, nuke it, abort this, abort this study. It's just like, and then here we are on Earth, and they're like, let's start that one going. And here we are on Earth, recreating the same thing that has caused our ancestors to go extinct. You know, I don't know. Like, there is another civilization on there, and basically we're rediscovering them with the rover going out there and taking this. Or we won't know till 2020 if it is, or what kind of water it is, or
Why?
if
Because we're going to send a manned mission, or what are you talking about? What's 2020?
again, you came in a little late, but
The manned mission. Or they're going to...
not a manned mission. We're not sending men there yet. We would send another rover there, but the reason we can't collect a water sample now is due to sterilization. If we in any way can contaminate anything outside Earth or in the solar system, then we can't collect. And we can't sterilize the Curiosity rover right now because we can't guarantee 100% a sterile methodology. So
Right.
in 2020, they plan on sending these other robots out there that can essentially do the same thing and take this sample that hopefully can be sterile. We'll see.
So we can collect rocks and other, I guess, souvenirs, but we can't collect water
Right.
to bring it back.
Nice.
That's interesting in itself too, that how long it takes, like every mission goes and then finds a resource or an obstacle, and then it takes another like decade or two for us to create and send another device that can accommodate those, and then we run into another one where we have to constantly create another, device or rover.
Yeah, that's based on the provisions of today. We're building a robot for the future. It's just like in the future you found something that like no, you can't use that on
And it'll be
another.
outdated by the time it gets there.
Yeah, you should send an iPhone because it's updated yearly. So I don't know. It's like that's something you could send out there, get the thing. But that's one of the things with the book, The Martian, that I'm reading. I need to finish that damn book. I started it like a month ago. Can't believe I'm not done with it. This baby is gonna be the end of me. Anyways, so they
Are you going to wait till you finish the book? See the movie?
yes, I need to. But
Okay.
because one of the problems so this is the whole thing with The Martian. I saw the preview and then I started reading the book. So now everything I'm reading in the book sounds like Matt Damon's reading it because I watched the freaking preview before, and I hate tainting my mind like that. So I can kind of relate to you not wanting to talk to people that have pre-screened Star Wars. I mean, that just makes sense when I'm like doing it for this. But we can get into Star Wars later. Don't bring up Star Wars right now. But in the book, in the movie as well, Matt Damon's stranded out on Mars, and then it's called Ares, and it takes 4 years to travel to Mars and 4 years to travel back. Well, when he lands on Mars, there's an accident that occurs, and they have to abort the mission there, and the rest of the crew is on their way back to Earth. So you're dealing with this timeline and they're really advanced then, so they're able to like use the telescopes to see Matt Damon on Mars and see what he's doing there. But there's two things. They don't want to tell the crew that's coming back, but they don't want to make them aware of it because there's a psychological toll that's played on astronauts that are being stuck together for 4 years, you know, coming back and stuff like that. So there's two things that play there, but like Jesse said, what we're building now could takes X amount of time in the future. So in this case, this guy's having to make the supplies that he was given to last for 30 days. He has to make them last for 4 years before the next rover comes. So or Ares.
All that being, he's just an actor and he's not trained by NASA or what?
No.
You said Matt Damon. You said Matt Damon. Is they're sending Matt Damon to Mars?
No, it's not Matt Damon. Matt Damon's the actor. He plays a. He actually
sorry, my bad. All right, continue.
Fuck you, Tony. Whatever.
It just seemed odd they would send an actor for such a crucial mission like that.
There's a meme out there that says first Matt Damon. The U.S. has been spending like an extraordinary amount of money always rescuing Matt Damon. First it's on Saving Private Ryan. He's on Interstellar. Like they have to go to another planet on Interstellar and get Matt Damon. And then again on The Martian, they're having to go save him again. It's like, fuck Matt Damon.
That's what. It's always getting lost on planets.
He's costing us too much money. He must like doing these kind of, because he also did Elysium, which is also really good. So he must like doing like sci-fi space movies.
Yeah.
I almost forgot he was in Interstellar. He played kind of a small role there. It was a central role, but
yeah.
And that movie again. You got.
He wasn't in the previews.
Have you seen Interstellar?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying he wasn't in the previews. It was kind of a shock when you see Matt Damon.
Yeah.
At least to me.
But going back to Jesse's thing with the time lapse, that's another thing. Like whenever they go to that planet and they come back and it's that guy's aged like what 30 years or something like that, but to them it feels only like an hour or something like that. And
are they able to travel? Like, how do they travel? It's like close to light speed they're traveling, or what are they doing?
Well, they're stuck in the black hole. Black hole, so like space is getting space.
No, I've seen Interstellar. I'm talking about Martian.
So when you travel more, I mean, think of it like that. It's like a wider gap in time as opposed to like over here. I mean, the way it's kind of like stretched out, stuff like that. So, in a nutshell, that's kind of like what's going on there. That's
time dilation. There you go. Well, I'm just wondering, in the Martian, like, what's their speed capabilities like, or are they waiting like, you know, what is it?
I don't know like the exact speed they're going. I just know it takes them 4 years to get there.
4 years. Okay.
No, there was not a Millennium Falcon in the Martian.
No. Oh, okay. Just
no light speed.
Millennium Falcon's a joke on its own. I mean, I don't even want to get. Okay, so I have this article right here. It says, will psychological issues become a problem for astronauts? And that's one thing of all these movies and also the books I read about space travel and stuff like that. They always toy with the thought that you have to be psychologically sound in order to be an astronaut, period. If you're going to undergo like these long periods of time in confined spaces with the same person over and over. I don't know if I could last very long with someone that I found annoying in a confined space for 4 years or something like that. There's times when I just need to leave my wife, and I'm just like, I need to be free right now. I'm just kidding.
Like how you raise your arms up.
Just get out of here, man.
So are they like awake and during the whole mission? They're not put into like hypersleep like I'm used to seeing in other movies.
Alien.
Not in The Martian, no, and that's a good point too, Jesse, because in The Martian they're playing it out like it was a real life event. So everything on there has been verified with NASA, like scientists and engineers so like the math and the science and everything that he uses on Mars in order to survive and stuff like that has been verified, and they stated like this could actually happen in this way, given that all those factors were the same of how it happened. But this movie could be a true story if we were ever in a situation like that. So
Interstellar had the same help like astrophysicists and stuff like that. Christopher Nolan, He pretty much did the same thing. He did his homework.
Christopher Nolan. He did this other movie. That's really popular. Had this like black hooded guy with the cape. I think that was the same guy.
Zorro.
Cowl.
Might be Zorro. Not sure.
He's a genius.
Zorro? Like Antonio Banderas is.
Desperado.
That's it. Okay, so this is a little excerpt from here. So it says, Mars 1. This is talking about the... Oh my God, why is your wife so mad? Tell her to calm
Sorry,
down.
she's throwing things.
This is
Not
about
that
Mars
you?
1 now. Of course, Mars 1 is going to be sending people over to Mars. Tony, you think you could survive on Mars by yourself? Like, if you knew you weren't going to come back to... What if it was you and Mariam and y'all took off to Mars and y'all were like, this is a one-man mission, you're not going to come back at all?
Huh. If it's me and her, yeah. Well, is the idea to start a civilization? We're the Adam and Eve of Mars?
It's just you, your wife, maybe, let's say 5 years of supplies and a 3D printer.
Oh. And then we gotta make it for the rest of our lives?
You have to create, yeah.
But what's the goal? Why are we not coming back? Like we're just gonna die there, and then
You're on
we're
an
gonna,
escape
like,
pod,
we're
and
gonna
the
have to
Earth
train
blew
our
up.
children.
Well,
to-
let's just say that the return pod has not been designed, so all we are capable of doing right now is traveling to Mars, but not returning.
Okay.
It's a one-way ticket, Tony.
Because that's exactly what the Mars 1 mission is, basically.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Does he know it's a one-way mission?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean, we're telling him now. What if we didn't? How unethical would that be? Like, hey, man, don't worry, you're going to come back. It's like, this guy's not coming back. Let me see.
Well, I've read a story that
I think-
that was where that did happen, so I was just curious.
Really? Like, for space?
It was a comic book. It was called Divinity, and it was a story that took place during the space race, and the Russians had a plan to. Well, everybody was racing to the moon, but the Russians apparently had the, I guess, technology and the means to go further than that. So they sent a Russian cosmonaut to like the edge of space, according to them, but he didn't know it was like a suicide mission pretty much. And so they picked this guy because they didn't think he was like a foster child, so he didn't have any. Yeah, they went through the whole like you said, the psychological breakdown to make sure like he was mentally capable of like detaching himself from Earth, so he didn't have any ties or relationships. But like the day he left for his mission, he found out he was having a kid, so that like took a toll on him. And then
Yeah.
but then he got real like superpowery, like because he got superpowers, of course, whenever he went on the mission. But that's pretty much like what you're describing is kind of like what happened in the comic book I read.
What if Matt Damon becomes a superhero? And that's just like the continuation of The Martian, and none of us see that ending. We're like, whoa, and it leads into, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's like, how did they do that? What?
Just raccoon comes out of nowhere. Like,
Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, that was our very first episode. I think that, that we did.
all coming back.
So we're all coming back. But okay, I want to finish up on Mars here. So yeah, Mars 1 will be the mission that they're being. I don't have a date. I think that's also going to be happening in 2020 or 2025. But Mars 1 is carefully selecting their crew for a number of skills and qualities. They will be people that have dreamt their whole life of going to Mars, and in many cases have pursued careers that increase the odds of being selected for this kind of.
So it is. This is the man mission. 2020.
Yeah, this is the man mission. Yeah, I'm reading.
20.
So
Okay.
maybe they'll be going with the Curiosity rover. They'll be just like traveling together. Just like they're like, hey, just see Curiosity 2 out here. He's right next to us.
But
If
we can't get back, right? Because just being able to. Well, I don't know. Once you
Yeah, right
land, how are
No,
you
it's
gonna
the
get?
only ticket right now. So it says On Mars, they will be very busy. They will improve the habitat to extend it with new units sent from Earth. So there's all this stuff, and they talk about that on The Martian too. That everything had been sent out 2 years prior, and it's awaiting them whenever the mission gets there and stuff like that, or the crew gets there. So they will do research, their own research, plus gathering of data for the research of others. They will prepare the settlement for the second crew that lands 2 years later. Every 2 years, a new crew will arrive, such that the settlement will slowly become a small village and an attractive place to live for more and more people. So more and more people are supposed to be good. Given that everything works out, I mean, given that there isn't some, I don't know, dementors there awaiting for people to get there so that they can be eaten alive, you know. I don't know. It could happen.
If Arnold Schwarzenegger's not the first one to step on Mars, I'll be very upset.
Well,
Get your ass
like
to
to-
Mars.
last words on Mars landing. Looking forward. You don't care.
No, it's
Could be
exciting.
We are living in an exciting time right now. This is one thing that they've always talked about. I mean, from Planet of the Apes when they leave to Mars and stuff like that, and even to some degree, I guess Interstellar. I think they're already living on Mars. That's why all the crops are corn. So that's kind of like the play on there. And so even after you just go, but this is something that's always been talked about, and the fact that we're there with our little rover driving around. I mean, there's some guy that goes to work every day driving that damn thing. Can you believe that? I'm over here fighting 8 o'clock traffic, and there's another guy that's driving a rover on fucking Mars right now. I mean, shit.
Yeah, you're worthless.
I'm so worthless now. Now that I talk about it out loud, I'm just like, damn.
I also read in those articles you posted that we have like a number of satellites already orbiting like Mars and other like moons of Jupiter where there are like underground lakes and streams that like Tony mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the moons, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, the moons are the places to hit. I think Europa was one, and there's another one I think on Saturn.
And that's
Titan.
that's confirmed. They have water, like.
No, they're only images. So like, I mean, that's kind of like the same thing with Mars. It was assumed that it had water, and then the next part is to send these rovers in there. But the environments on those were a little more extreme.
Yeah, somebody's sending something with the drill, I think. That's what I read. So they can start drilling into the planet.
But
Bring it back.
This is the one from the Huffington Post. So that's the one. After Mars hunt for water, we're going to go for the solar system. Let's see the tour of the. No, let's see. Okay, so ExoMars, ExoMars was the European mission that we're talking about. That's the one that's going in with for organic molecules and all that stuff. But let's see, in 2020, they're now being designed a study for Europa, the U.S. Europa mission, and the European JUICE, which is Jupiter Icy Moon Explorer mission. And on there, that's what you're talking about. They'll send a little rover up there with the drill bit, which is like. Titan, orbiting the planet Saturn, 1 billion kilometers from Earth. The moon, which has a thick atmosphere of nitrogen, has been revealed to be a world with lakes and seas of methane on its surface. So, a lot of exciting things happening right now with space exploration and stuff like that. Now, we can sum up this section right now with a question to you, Tony. I asked Jesse this at the beginning, but how do you feel about space exploration when we don't know everything here on Earth?
I think it's important to always be developing in many aspects of technology, and space exploration is always the best way to drive people or to drive new technology. Just like all the moon missions, we have all this technology because of space exploration, and I mean, so you're thinking like the oceans aren't explored?
I'm just thinking, like, think about this. We have a rover that we sent in, billions of miles away that's over there on Mars, potentially could get a sample of water on Mars. But we don't have anything that can withstand the pressure of the depths of our sea and that can go down there and explore everything, like the ocean bottom. Everything's just been just imagery that we have. We don't have anything that's physically been down there and extracted samples and stuff like that. So, I mean, we can go billions of miles into space, but we can't go, I don't know, what, miles, kilometers down into the ocean. It's just like, think about it like that in terms of distance. It's just like, what?
Yeah. I think both are important. But
All
one is definitely way more sexier than the other.
Tony, appreciate it. Hey, Tony, flurry or service? Which one do you want?
Flurry.
Okay. Tony sucks at picking songs.
What is this? The flurry. Flurry of emotions.
It's the flurry. The flurry leading us into our, we can call this a Comic-Con / comic book section right now if you want to get into that. I mean, this is, of course, the comic books lays heavily on you, but Jesse also threw some articles into our pocket here that Tony refuses to download, and so he'll never be on the same page as the rest of us, but that's not my problem. That's his problem, so whatever.
All right.
Whatever.
Go on.
So both of y'all attended Alamo City Comic Con, and
We
I
did.
think at one point, well, Jesse, I'll let you state your story about you thought you saw Tony, or you saw someone that looked like Tony.
I thought I saw Tony, and I texted you and asked you if Tony was here, and you said no. So
Okay.
I continued about my Alamo City Comic Con, and then you texted me back, and you said, "Oh wait, yes he is." And then I never saw Tony again.
Because that Saturday before, I asked Tony, "Hey, what are you up to?" He says, "I'm working overtime." Or actually, his girl or wife told me he was working overtime on Facebook. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, Tony's working overtime. Why would he just go for one day? That's dumb." So
Yeah.
I guess you did go for one day, right?
Yeah, I did. A friend of mine had I just took his bracelet and glued it on mine. So I went free. Sorry, guys. But I just went for my friend. And
While you were there, did anybody mistake you for Norm Macdonald?
yeah, I did autographs. I had a booth and everything. Just kidding. No, so that day happened to be the day Ray Park had a panel, so I went to that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was awesome. Ray Park, you might know him as Darth Maul or Snake Eyes.
Where's
or
the
Toad.
stuff on his face with the
Yeah.
the two-headed sword?
He's
He did
this
a
awesome
cool
martial
little lightsaber session at the end of the con.
artist. Oh, really?
Everybody. Yeah.
I didn't see that. I left early.
Or are they like fake?
It was. Oh, they had like some like replica ones like that looked like super legit. I don't know what he was using, but
Yeah.
near his booth where he was signing, a large crowd gathered, and I went to go see what it was, and he had pretty much like opened up the whole floor, and he was doing a cool little like martial arts like lightsaber session.
He's just like, "Do y'all want to see my lightsaber?"
Dude,
Like
that's awesome. I wish I wanted to see that. No, he just told those stories. He didn't really do anything. But no, he was cool. He was cool.
Yeah, my wife was getting some paintings done by an artist named Katie Cook, which she's like a cutesy artist. She does like My Little Pony and stuff like that. And in front of Katie was Humberto Ramos, and then so while I was waiting, I turned around and I saw somebody talking to Humberto Ramos, which is like a big Marvel and like Spider-Man artist, and
Yeah.
then I realized it was Tony that was talking to him.
Really? Okay, I remember.
So it was you. So I mean, it wasn't someone. It could have been Tony.
Well,
Tony could have been there, but you saw someone that looked like Tony. You know what I mean?
Roberto
No.
Ramos was like eating lunch, so I asked his like assistant guy if he was gonna be here later, because I had a book that I didn't take that I thought it'd be cool to have it signed, but I ended up not going back.
Yeah.
But so I didn't even talk. I was interrupting.
I told
for
Miguel
lunch.
that I knew you had asked him something, and it seemed like you got bad news because you walked away like almost very disappointed. Like,
I did?
I don't know. It just looked like you're like, I don't know. It's like you asked him and they gave you. I didn't hear what was saying, but I saw you go up to him and like ask him something, and kind of do like the the little like half shake your head down, kind of like whatever, and then you just kind of like walked away.
Well, no,
Aw,
all I did was like,
honey.
what time? How late is he gonna be here? He said 5. I was like, all right, thanks.
I was just
So,
imagining, I was just
that quick.
imagining him say something like no or get away from me or something.
Oh, jeez. No.
Um,
I think immediately after that, this guy walks by me in a Kylo Ren, awesome Kylo Ren costume, and he told me, "Cool shirt," because I had this like the First Order shirt on, and I was like, "This guy's telling me cool shirt, and he's dressed as Kylo Ren." So I took a picture with him. It's pretty cool.
Huh. well, oops. Jesse had some drama there with someone. He almost
Yeah.
got in a fight with somebody that was signing books or something like that.
With
There-
who? Oh, with who was
I don't know.
it?
You said
John
you
Layman?
was a real dick to you, so that you pulled out your dick, and then you got into a dick fight or something. I don't. I forget.
And then yeah, and then we had a sword fight. But yeah, I got some signatures by Humberto. So, but I don't know if you knew, but he was charging like, but it was like a small fee for his.
Really? Damn.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what book were you getting signed by him,
Uh,
or did you
I
want?
had Big Time that I didn't bring with me. Big
Oh,
Time.
okay.
I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, he was charging $5 a signature, so I got a few from him.
I probably wouldn't have paid it though, because it wasn't that important to me. I haven't even
Okay.
finished that book. I'm like towards the end. I don't know.
But I got some signatures by Bob Layton, and he did like the X Factor run and some like Galactus Origin stuff. And he was kind of a dick because when I went up to his booth, I ran into some other people from my hometown, San Angelo, that just happened to be getting signatures by him too. And then I started talking to them because he was like, it seemed like he was doing a sketch for somebody or something. So I started talking to them in front of his booth and just holding my books. I thought I was doing the courteous thing, like by waiting. I didn't want to interrupt him because I've seen other artists get pissed off whenever they're like, I'm obviously drawing. You can't tell that, and when they get interrupted. So I didn't, and then like midway into our conversation, he like snatched the books out of my hand. And he's like, "This is what I'm here for." Something like stupid, like smart alecky.
Damn.
So, yeah, and so he like signed the books and just kind of like threw them back at me. So he was kind of a dick.
He called you stupid? Or
No.
that was
He
his
said,
tone.
yeah, he was just kind of like,
He might as well have called you stupid.
pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
That sucks.
That's
You're
He's
still gonna read comic books, though, right?
He's the one that did that iconic like Iron Man Demon in a Bottle cover with Tony Stark like all super drunk and
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh,
So he's the artist that did that.
that's pretty cool. Did you
So he's
have that for him to sign?
No, I don't have that. I wish I did, but
Wow.
he's just like an old geezer now, kind of just like hates
Okay.
his life and
Yeah,
stuff.
I wasn't sure.
Just waiting to die.
Yeah.
I've usually had good experiences with like the older guy, like Neil Adams was really cool, and George Perez was like super nice. That was
Neil
another
Adams is a
con.
dick too.
He was a dick too.
Yeah, I fucking hate Neil Adams.
Yeah.
Him and Greg Land, they're all dicks. They're all
Yeah.
just old, like
Do you
I
think
don't
it's
know.
something with you though? Maybe like your
No,
person.
because it's other people too. Like I've shared my experiences about Neil Adams, and everybody's pretty much said the same thing. Have you ever gotten signatures by Neil?
I haven't.
He charges
wasn't
like
like
$20
super
a
nice.
signature.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but he wasn't like I could tell maybe where you might have had a bad experience, but to me he wasn't that bad. So
If you're like hovering around his booth and you have no intention of buying something or getting something signed or
Yeah.
giving him money at that, like he basically just nicely tells you to fuck off, pretty much.
oh yeah.
Yeah, he's put himself very high on a pedestal, and he's great at what he did. I mean, his Batman run was awesome, but yeah, he's put himself up there. So far, he can't come down, so he's just kind of a dick.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. When I went, he kind of had his handler, and I was just kind of talking to the handler, and then I would just come by every now and then, trying to decide what I wanted, and then finally went to get it, and he was we kind of chit-chatted how he doesn't like he tried Tex-Mex and he didn't like it. I don't know. But
Who was this?
Neil Adams.
Oh, okay.
But I bought something, so maybe that's why he was nice. I don't know. Well, he
Oh,
wasn't like nice. I could tell he was kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Do you have old man breath when you're talking?
At Alamo City, though, I did see a panel with the legendary Edward James Olmos.
What?
He was awesome. Yeah, I didn't even know he was going to be there today, and I saw it on the schedule. I was like, okay, I'm going there.
Dude, but he's probably there for what's that cartoon you used to watch with the
Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, there we go, Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. It was weird in the panel. He was like kind of championing Battlestar Galactica, like nobody's seen it. He's like, yeah, nobody talks about it. Nobody's seen it. I'm here like, I've seen it. It's the greatest.
But you're probably like the only one there. I mean,
No, there's other people because
you're watching it like off of like the CW or something that comes on late night now, and that nobody really cares about. Right? It's like comes on after the news.
It was on Netflix, and I binged
later. Yeah, I mean, Netflix also has By the Bell.
Seriously, from his like, it's the greatest show ever made. I'll say that. The way he explained it, I was like, hell yeah, he's right. It is the greatest show ever made because it tackles so many issues of stuff that was going on then and today, and it was amazing. He told the story.
That's something like Star Trek does as well. I mean, they kind of like address race and stuff like that without directly addressing.
But not the way Battlestar Galactica does it. You know, you haven't seen it, so.
Give me an example, and maybe it'll intrigue my interest, and I'll give you a couple episodes.
Well,
I haven't seen it either, but I've heard like similar stuff, like what Tony's saying. And then I know a guy that went to the panel too, and he pretty much said the same thing. It's like shed light on a lot of like real time events and like natural occurrence.
Well, because you have the Cylons and the humans. The Cylons pretty much brought humans to extinction, so humans hate them, but they somehow are able to come to some of them have to join forces and to come to a peace, and just to have that level of hate and then to be able to deal with that almost as if it's a race issue, you know. So stuff like that. I mean, it goes into so many other things: terrorism, racism. I mean, just prejudice. But he mentioned this speech that he gave. It's 4 minutes long.
What's the thing that he says? There's like a saying. He says like, "And to each their all," or something.
No,
like that.
yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to. He was at the United Nations, and he gave a speech kind of about.
Mark Zuckerberg was there too.
Oh, is this where he's like told them he didn't know why they brought him here and stuff like that?
I'm not sure. Actually,
I think that's. Yeah, he went there and he pretty much, I guess, was upset that they, I guess, invited him there because it was like pointless or something like that. Or
Mark Zuckerberg was there. I'd go anywhere that guy goes. Jeez.
All right, hold up. Can I play a? Let's see. How do I share? Are you?
Send me the link.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Anyway, he's at the UN. I guess he's just talking about ways to improve the world. Let's see, sure, because I want to include the timestamp. Okay. But yeah, so in the show, it's the humans sort of
failed with technology just now, and you want to start Galactica, so
the humans saying really, or he would just say, "So say we all," like the humans are.
So say we all.
Yeah. So. He was talking about it, or I think he just said something that I agreed with, and I was like, "So say we all," and nobody was like join me in with it. But then later he told the UN story, and then he led the chant. So say we all. So I got to say the chant, and it was beautiful. So I got to yell, so say we all with Edward James Olmos. It was pretty
It's like if you just started chanting USA and no one
pretty much.
USA, USA. It's like, oh,
Yeah. I put it in the chat, by the way.
I'm not familiar with Battlestar Galactica, but I'm
Yeah,
familiar with American Me and
Yeah, he talked about
Agents of
that
Shield.
and how groundbreaking that show was too. And
have you seen American Me, Tony?
no, I haven't.
Tony, if you watch American Me and you give me notes showing that you actually watched it, I'll watch a couple episodes of Battlestar Galactica.
All right, all right. No, I will. I've been wanting to see it, so yeah.
It's really good. I'll send you the VHS. Let me see. What is this clip here? Let's see.
The Admiral of the Battlestar Galactica to say it to all of you. There is but one race, and that is it. So say we all. So say we all. So say we all.
So say we all.
Nobody knows.
Tony?
So that's pretty much it.
Is that you?
So that was he kind of reenacted that for the panel, which was awesome. My favorite part. Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg's on.
Man. Okay, but seriously, to be Mark Zuckerberg, am I right? I mean,
What? Why?
Zuckerberg, who's there at the United Nations? I'm just saying.
Oh, he was. Oh, okay.
The guy has a
Oh.
jetpack. He probably traveled over there with his jetpack. It's just like.
What's he planning on stealing this time?
The guy's a genius.
Jeez.
I was telling Tony about this documentary I watched on 5 Hour Energy. It's on YouTube. It's free. And this Indian guy talks about, it's only the first part that's about, oh man, I hate that I just said it like that. That's about 5 Hour
About?
Energy.
What's
Stop.
it about?
It's only the first little
Canadian?
bit. He talks about how he's real.
Sir?
It seems like he has a humble personality on the documentary. You know, people can be different in real life, or whatever. But he's like, yeah, I made 5 Hour Energy. I made a little bit, and I made a little bit of money, and then I made a little bit more, and made a little bit more money. Then I made a billion of them, and I made $1 billion. So this guy's a billionaire off of 5 Hour Energy, and in return, he has these massive projects going on right now for water, health, and what's the other one? Water, health. Man, I am blanking out on the other one. But one of the water one is a way to not only clean the oceans, but there's also this thing. It almost acts like a cloud, and so it pulls a lot of water in from these very dry climates and able to put out this water so that communities can use this stuff.
Yeah,
It's just bizarre.
controlling weather now.
Not controlling the weather. It looks like just this like big box, and he calls it the cloud, and it's a rain cloud, and it absorbs all the moisture in the air, and so that essentially. Have you seen those big billboards? And in the morning they collect the dew on them, and then it puts it down, and people can go over there and refill their water off of the dew. Genius thing. It's like we use these things for advertisements, but you know, that's a large surface area that you could be using to collect water that is
Yeah.
you know,
Just in the air, you know.
it's just in the air, and you should be drinking it.
Have you ever had box water?
Boxed water? No, I've had canned water.
Like box juice box.
Yeah, but water.
No.
Oh, is that it?
We I like to drink. We like to drink a lot of the sparkling waters.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see a lot of plastic.
Replacing Coke.
Yeah, you seem like you have bottled water in your house right now, Tony.
No, but we have lime flavored. What is it? It's La Croix. La Croix. It's just
Stop.
canned
No.
water.
Okay, we've got one more article to get into this that's concerning comic books, and it's Batman's co-creator Bill Finger. Wait, Bill
Yeah.
finally? Is his last name Finger, or is that a...
Finger.
It's
No,
Finger.
that's
Oh, that's his last name. Okay, so Batman's co-creator Bill Finger finally receives recognition. So what's this about, Jesse? You threw this in here.
yeah.
I sure
I'm
did.
interested.
So Batman was created by both Bob Kane and Bill Finger, but up until recently, Bob Kane's been the only one credited with the creation of Batman. So the basically Bob Kane won a settlement with DC Comics years ago because whatever he created Batman, I guess whatever he used during his settlement was because he was under the age of 18, so whatever documents he signed the rights over to DC was null and void. So it was a creator-owned character, Batman. So he was getting recognition and sole recognition for the creation of Batman. Until recently, there was a settlement with the Finger family to now allow the rights to be co-provided or co-acknowledged. So on the next the Batman versus Superman, he'll get recognition for that, and then Gotham season 2 is airing on Fox, and towards the end of this season, they'll have edited all the titles and stuff to indicate Batman created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger.
Yeah, wow. Yes, for the guy that has to go back and redo all that, it's like, hey, dude, we got to add just this line of text to all of them. He's like, all of them? All of them.
Yeah.
Go back and do this.
I think that's why it wasn't implemented immediately. That's what they're saying. It's towards the end of the season. So, yeah, I mean, Detective Comics number 27, when Batman was introduced, came out in 1939. So just barely in 2015 is that Bill Finger getting credit for, and he died in like poverty. Like he died like super poor because he never got the royalties from DC Comics or the merchandise or anything. So Bob Kane died a very rich man because he got sole recognition and all the priority and like royalties and from the creation of that.
And what I hear, like a lot of it was just all Bill Finger, like even the origin of with the parents and maybe the cape and.
Finger is believed to have refined the costume, given the character his secret identity as millionaire Bruce Wayne, come up with his distinctive origin story and motivation, contributed to the dark Gothic atmosphere, and co-created the supporting cast, including Robin, Joker, and Commissioner Gordon. So that's fucking Batman to me. That's everything. I was just like,
that's everything Batman is. Bill
what
Finger,
did the guy
do? Maybe the name.
He came up with a name and designed the costume, but even all that was stolen too, because the whole attempt to create Batman was just as a, I guess, the DC's next installment of superheroes because Superman was doing so well. So Bob Kane basically promised the editors and publishers of DC Comics at the time that he would come up with the next big thing, and so he took reference and influence from the Shadow and from Zorro, and then basically stripped their powers from any, because at the time superpowers and superheroes were a big thing, but they were trying to go back to basics. So that's why Zorro doesn't have any superpowers, the Shadow doesn't have really any superpowers, so that's what they were going with. So that's why he's a very dark and like mysterious character. So yeah, basically everything that Bob Kane came up with was unoriginal and stolen, and that's when Bill Finger stepped in and gave him his identity, created Gotham entirely, and stuff like that. So it's super sad that this has gone on for like decades, that he didn't get the recognition that he deserved.
It does suck because, I mean, the guy's dead now. I mean, maybe his family will enjoy some of the benefits, but, you know, if you created something and to live with that, I mean, it's just like imagine you created Batman, Tony, and then you just died and no one else knew, and they gave me all the credit. Somebody doesn't even read comic books. I'm just like, yeah, I created it.
Because you would be my beneficiary, right?
Yeah, I mean,
of course. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, what, or maybe I was associated with, like, with this podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's exactly like this podcast. What if this podcast blows up and everyone forgets about me and gives all the credit?
I get all that. Oh, hey, you better watch out. I got some lawyers on my side.
Let it be stated now on GeekRant 001 that, you know, Tony did develop the name for MT Rant. I mean, it's M, Miguel, and T for Tony, and MT Rant. But anticlimactic Anthony is what I call him now. Kind of veered off road, episode, I don't know, 20, 25. He just like went on, started living his own life.
Getting married.
and
Yeah.
Europe and everything.
Hey, before we get off track, Miguel, do you remember it was like a year ago? I was all about getting the next Google Doodle because I was kind of I just kind of learned. I've heard of Bill Finger. Like I think I just learned about the whole history and how fucked over he got. I was like, dude, email Google so the next Google Doodle will be Bill Finger's 100th birthday. Do you remember that? I don't know. I was like all about it. Like, how awesome would it be for Bill
Oh
Finger
yeah,
to get some recognition on
I do
Google?
remember this stupid memory. Yes, yes, I recall.
Yeah. They had a little mock-up of a Google Doodle that it could show Bill Finger's 100th birthday.
Happen or did they give credit to I don't know, Kane? Whatever the
No,
heck.
it was just some random Google Doodle. I don't know. I don't think it went through.
Oh, it never went through. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But there was a campaign for it, you know.
Did you ever win that contest to tickets to go see Harry Potter or the premiere of Harry Potter or was it Star Wars or
Star
I
Wars?
don't know. They kind of there's something you were trying to win tickets to, like the shooting of Star Wars or
No, some
Yeah, that
asshole.
sounds familiar.
I forget his name, Dean Barnes or something like that. No,
Fuck Barnes.
it was to actually go into it was to fly to London and actually be in the movie. Um, that was you donate to UNICEF and you're in like a raffle and but yeah, some guy actually won and there's some video of him like getting. I think they dress him up as some. I don't remember if he's like an alien or what. But so he's gonna be in the movie. It's pretty awesome.
That's cool. Not for you, but I mean.
I don't even know what I'm doing here. So we're going to end our segment on Star Wars talk because we promised Tony if you joined the podcast you could talk a little bit about Star Wars. You got about 5 minutes
boy.
left.
Oh my god. What do I talk about? So
Floor is open to you. I mean, we haven't heard from you in I don't know how long since the first actual group rent that anybody actually listened to. You haven't talked a lot about Star Wars.
Alright.
All I know is that there is a movie coming out, I think, in December or something like that.
Yes.
Was it Christmas?
No, it's not Christmas. Star Wars: The Force Awakens comes out December 18th, 2015, which is tell you how many days away it is. I have the Star Wars app. If you have the Star Wars app, it'll have a little timer on there for
How
you.
much did that cost you? $3? $2.99?
It was free. It was
Oh.
free.
Do they have buy-in ads though? And that's where they get you. Like every time that you click on something in there, it forces you to look at a
Surprisingly, not really. Yeah.
kind of 8-bit game. That's
Is that its only purpose, the countdown, or what?
No, it has like the news feed has GIFs and emojis, videos, a force trainer where it's like the floating ball that shoots a laser, and you're like have a lightsaber and you have to block the bolts.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen this?
It's
There, and I'm sure you've seen them. At Target, I went by the toy aisle to look at the new set of toys that
yeah.
appeared. And
Well, I'm
they're
getting to that. I'm getting to that.
okay. I just want to mention because you said Force Trainer. There's a series of toys that have these like magnets in them that allow you to pretend to be doing the Force.
Oh. Yeah.
I was looking at them, and there's another one that says like become a Jedi Master, and you read the toy thing, and it's like $200. I was like, I don't want to spend $200 on this. Become a degree Jedi Master. I was like, yeah, this isn't real, and like you have to cut out the certificate on the back of the box.
Oh.
Did you buy anything for, what was it, Force Friday, or did you buy
Yeah.
that droid?
Hold up, you guys. Okay, so Force it comes out in 71 days.
Make love to your woman on
Yeah.
Force Friday. Like,
Force Friday was
Did you
maybe
force her to see?
maybe a month ago. Force Friday.
you have
Yeah,
to.
I went out for Force Friday.
I'm gonna force it in.
Toys R Us up on 410 San Antonio. There was a pretty big line, over 100 people. Well, maybe approaching 100 people around the corner of Toys R Us, and turns out there's no toys for all these people waiting. They just sort of didn't stock much, and all the ones people wanted were all gone. So I ended up with just a snap tight, the new X-wing. It's like a black and orange. It's like Black Squadron X-wing.
Why, Tony? Why wait in that line? You know they're gonna like replenish the resource, like all the stock in a couple days.
Everything I bought, I haven't seen on the shelves again. So that's pretty awesome.
Okay, okay, that's a good point then. If you've actually
Yeah.
checked, the
Yeah.
case, or you
So
justify.
I just got that model, but I was kind of disappointed. I didn't really get what I wanted. So that day, I hear about these new die-cast figures that Disney is exclusive to the Disney store. So I got to find a Disney store. So I go to some. Well, I make the decision. I come home and try to go to sleep, but my wife's just like, "Why don't you just go wait in line now?" Because they were so it was Force Friday at midnight at Toys R Us, and then Disney didn't open until 6 o'clock the next day. So I went ahead and went. I wasn't going to sleep anyway, so I went ahead and just waited. I couldn't wait in the mall parking lot. The security guard kicked me out. So yeah, I waited at a Whataburger, got a honey butter chicken biscuit, and the new Iron Maiden album came out that week. So I'm there jamming out the new album, which is really great. Book of Souls, Iron Maiden. I'm digging it. And so yeah, I waited till 6 o'clock, and then when it's like, well, I think the parking lot, the security guard told me at 5:30 we
Is
could
this
go
the Disney store in the River Center Mall?
No, this is Ingram.
Oh, Ingram.
Yeah, so I would try to go somewhere nobody would go. So yeah, I drove way out there, and I'm waiting for 5:30 because that's what the security guard told me. I'm like, I'm gonna follow the rules, but then I see all these people like take it off. I'm like, God damn it! So I speed off after them, and so I was like there since three past maybe 3:30.
Black Friday, but Black Force Friday.
And then there ended up being people in front of me, and it pissed me off. But I ended up getting what I wanted. I got the die-cast figures, which are beautiful on my shelf here.
What is it? Is it like an antenna for your TV so you can get better reception, or what?
No, they have no purpose but to sit there. Actually, believe it or not. So
how much did that set you back?
they were 25 a piece.
And you bought how many?
Well, I don't do this usually, but it was my wife's idea to go ahead and buy more so you could sell it later. So I bought 2 Kylo Rens.
No, Tony, what? You're selling out, man. That goes against
I know, it does.
Moral standards.
She had a pretty good point. I could sell it and make the money back, but I haven't sold them yet because I put it on Craigslist and it hasn't sold.
I've always been one of those people that I know would go against all of that, and it really breaks my heart right now to hear. I mean, it's not like you. He's changed you, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you rushed into this. I mean, I'm not trying to say, I'm just saying, she's changing who you are and how you act out.
To the dark side.
Man.
No, it was kind of like the practical make money side, but no, I'm doing this for the emotion of it, for the.
Do it for the kids, Tony.
Yeah, yeah, I could just give them away. I guess, I don't know, but I still have them there. So I just got 2 duplicates of a Kylo Ren and a Stormtrooper. I only got one of the Captain Phasma and one of the Flame Trooper. So, but they're really cool. They have some nice weight to them, and I'm
want to like take paint out and add detail to your toys.
No, these are very well painted.
Okay.
I have no complaints on the paint application. They're nice.
So how many hours were you awake on Force Friday, Tony?
Like 24 hours.
And then you went home and you're like, honey.
I went to work after that.
Yes.
So I was dead tired. It was awful, and then we ended up driving home that weekend. So, and I just slept on the way.
You're breaking my heart.
But so that was crazy. Never done anything like that before. I think I just wanted to experience it. It really is just for the experience.
That's cool.
Um,
I'm assuming you've never done Black Friday or anything like that, huh?
oh, I did for a laptop. I got a Black Friday deal.
Kind of experience that. Then.
Yeah. Well, this is different. This is celebrating the movie. Like,
No, I get it. I get it.
but yeah, ever since then I've been going to. There's a Walmart right by my work, so I just go in and check the new stock if there's any. And I've been getting little because the diecast figures I got, they're like 7 inches tall. I'm getting just little 3¼ inch just for my desk at work. But I'm not like collecting the whole line or anything. I just got all the droids. There's a R2, C3PO, and a BB-8 that I got.
Okay, I mean I care about Star Wars, but not near as much as you. So it just looks like I don't care about Star Wars. But
It's cool.
the Sphero robot, the little orange one.
Yeah, you would love that, I think.
I want that thing. It's like $200. That was like one of those $200. I was like, what the fuck?
I've actually never seen it. I've never.
I saw one here at Target.
You did? Oh wow. Oh wait. Well, there's a Target exclusive one. That's $79. It's not the Sphero version, so it kind of bobs. Doesn't have a
I
smoother.
saw the prices online, and then at Target. Yeah, you're right, because at Target it didn't say Sphero on it, but I was like, I thought this was Sphero. I remember being kind of like perplexed by that, but
Yeah.
whatever.
So Target had their own version of it. That wasn't as good.
Millennium Falcon by Air Hogs, which I'm assuming that thing flies horribly. I want someone that bought that thing and see if they have a YouTube video of them flying that thing, because looking at the quality of that quadcopter, it does not look like it flies very good.
I mean, I've seen it fly. It's pretty, like, you imagine it shakes. It looks really stable. I don't know. It looks pretty good.
You did it in real life, though?
No, just on TV. They did the broadcast showing all the new toys on YouTube. That was crazy, but I don't know. It looked pretty cool. They have an X-wing too, which I don't think I've seen that. I think that just flies straight and looks dangerous as hell. But
one time I bought an Air Hog because I like the helicopters. I buy a lot of the little RC helicopters because I like seeing how they fly and stuff like that. And I bought one when I first started this like small collection of helicopters that I have. Was Air Hogs, and that thing just it only has one speed and it constantly flies forward, so you're constantly having to turn it. So when you start spending like more money, like $50, $70 on these helicopters, they have that gyroscope that keeps them stable and without moving. But the quadcopter, if you could get a quadcopter, I don't know how much that Millennium Falcon is. I didn't price it. I want to say it was like around like $79, if not more. But
yeah, I think that's right.
It's pretty impressive to get a quadcopter at that price. Regardless, like that technology is just available for us to put as a fucking movie prop or as a movie toy that we can just play in our living room when people are like using that for all kinds of stuff. Like I don't know, we're using drones for. Hey, I flew a drone. The expensive one, that white one with the four. Well, I mean it's a quadcopter.
Yeah.
It's like a $100 drone. Guy came by work and was wanting to. He asked if he could play with it in our space because I mean we have a large amount of land out there. And he took it up, and the pictures he sent back were just so HD and awesome resolution and sharp looking. I was like, man, this gives me like pride to work here looking at these photos. You gave me that. It was very easy to fly, and you get your money's worth on that. So I can't imagine that thing. I mean, going back to the Millennium Falcon quadcopter, I feel like it'd be very unstable. But I don't think it's something I'd buy. That's the one toy. That one and the Sphero-looking thing that I had interest in getting.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at this video. It looks pretty cool. It lights up, and I don't know.
You're looking at a video, but at the same time, is it like a professional flyer? Or I mean, I'm very skeptical of movies like that. But anyways, that brings me
how fake UFO videos are made.
But so yeah, Force Friday was cool. I'm still.
We'll give you more time next time on GeekRant, but
wait, that's it. What about Rebels? Star Wars Rebels next week? There's more toys coming out.
Okay, you got
on the new show.
Okay, 2 minutes to finish up. Come on.
Oh no. So yeah, next week Star Wars Rebels. There's still gonna be toys coming out. Trailer probably actually in 3 weeks. probably a new trailer that might give some plot points. So, but that's all.
I heard
After
Han
that,
Solo
it's
like in the first 30 minutes.
I don't know. Well, why are you telling me that? Don't tell me that.
No, like I heard, like I read it.
Okay. Well, maybe. We don't know. Have to wait and see.
What if he did die in the first 30 minutes? I would find that very disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, but there's no telling. That's the thing. They could do that.
You
And
said Han Solo was supposed to have a spin-off, right?
yeah, it's going to be a younger Han Solo, which kind of seems stupid, but
I saw the toys that are coming out with the current Han Solo. He looks super old.
there is no toys coming out.
Somebody put a toy out on Instagram with Han Solo, and he looks super old.
Really? Well, see, there's new toys every day that I don't know about. That's why I'm just. You guys got to keep out there, keep an eye out, and yeah,
Can't you
get excited.
Jesse and I.
Sorry, what?
Can't you reactivate your Instagram so that you can communicate with us and I can send you pictures?
Oh,
Nudes.
yeah, I mean, I can probably log into Instagram right now. Just don't have it on my phone.
You're gonna piss off that guy that originally wanted your screen name. And
That was Twitter. But, yeah.
gone inactive. And that's been Star Wars Talk with Tony. He's a real good guy.
Yeah. May the Force be with you.
Ah, jeez. That was a good little round of Star Wars Talk, Tony. I'm glad you were able to join the show and share that with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Should we end there? I mean, I can.
So I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
What?
call it a night. That was a good
Anything
first episode.
Let's go with soaring or timely.
Soaring.
Damn it.
Sounds good. Let's see here. Oh, I see what's going on. Here we go. And that has been GeekRant, episode 1. I think if you're still watching, and we got our one viewer out there. I think that's Miss Monica or Kitty Comics, whatever. If she's still watching, please watch The Sandlot eventually. We need you to. I mean, I saw on Instagram she had not watched The Sandlot. Tony, you've seen The Sandlot, right?
Yes, I've seen the greatest movie. Yes.
Oh. No, I don't think it's the greatest movie. I think that's
No, it's not the greatest movie. It's pretty good.
far-fetched, but I mean, it is a good.
I don't know if you notice, I tend to do that. I tend to say things are the greatest, like a child would.
Yeah, like a child. All right, well then I'll end on this for The Sunlight. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. This is GeekRant. We're gonna try to do these every 2 weeks, I think. I don't know. It depends on these guys' schedule and if Tony can keep up with his date book because he's so busy. Just fucking toys. And yeah, we'll get all our other previous content on EmptyRant.com. We recently re-released Jesse's episode 12 with the last page with Jesse. He talks about his experience even more there about at Alamo City Comic Con. So check that out. Any last words, Tony? You want to share with the millions of listeners right now at your disposal?
Don't get technical with me.
Is that a toy?
I don't like you either.
Thank you, Tony. Ask your wife to calm down next time we do a podcast. Hey, Jesse, thanks for joining. Not joining us, I mean, thank you for co-hosting this and allowing me to invite Tony as a guest.
You're welcome.
Any last words, Jesse?
No, thanks for listening, guys, and looking forward to episode 2.
Yes, this is a good episode. Allow me to get my geek on.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Nerd out, bird out. And we got Tony. Tony with the soundboard now.
All right, fine to do it.